Hey everyone, it's Dr. Andrea with Restoration Chiropractic here in Southern California, and I am with Emily Lewis. Emily is an independent life insurance agent. She's got her own business called Living with Em. Hi, Emily.
Hello, good morning.
How's it going?
It is good. Feels like Monday
Good.
because we had yesterday off.
Oh, see, I didn't have yesterday off, so to me, it's just a normal Tuesday.
Just another
Um,
Tuesday.
I'm excited to have you here. I life insurance is one of those things. I tend to deal with the same demographic you do. Like I deal with younger families with kids, and I find that life insurance is one of the pieces of the puzzle that not everybody has. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions about why you need it. And I personally do think it's a very important product to have. So I'm really excited to have you here because I'm hoping we can educate people on not only the importance of it, but actually how easy it is to get. Um, one of the reasons it's important to me, and one of the reasons I talk about it is because, my whole paradigm is health, right? Health and wellness. Like when you ask people, what does Andrea do? They say, oh, Andrea helps people get wellness. And when we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, basically Maslow says there are these 5 levels of needs that have to be met in order for you to become like the greatest kind of person that you can be. The very, very bottom hierarchy is the physiological hierarchy, right? Like we need to have food and water and shelter and a place to rest our heads and some place to make babies because procreation is a part of that. And then just above that is the safety level of hierarchy. That's going to be personal security, having employment, having resources, having your health, owning property. To me, life insurance fits into there. And then just above that is love and belonging. Like you need to have friendship, you need to have good social interactions, you need to have a good family intimacy. Above that is esteem, which is your respect, your self-esteem, your status, both personally and professionally. And then being recognized. And then above that, the highest level is going to be self-actualization, which is really being the most that you can be. And as someone who deals with health and wellness, the World Health Organization actually defines health as the complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because I do think it's a big piece of the wellness puzzle. And if it truly is in that lowest level of safety, like the second from the bottom rung, then in order to hit those upper levels of beingness, you do need to have that personal security. So that's why I think it's so important. So tell me a little bit about you. How long have you been in business?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I love that you're helping me to spread this message, and I'm glad that we're on the same page. I align with a lot of your philosophies on health as well, so it's
Awesome.
really refreshing.
Good.
And I just had my 4-year anniversary on Halloween. It's a great day, I suppose, to to talk about life. And yeah, I've been in for 4 years. I actually had I have been a creative my whole life. I've been a dessert maker. I've been a stand-up comedian. Oops, I wasn't supposed
I
to
can
say
totally see
that.
that.
I've been an actress. I've done all these creative things, right? And my husband, for years, a decade plus, was trying to get me into insurance. You'd be so good at insurance. And I'm like, insurance is so not for me, but
That's
thanks.
not sexy.
It's not sexy. It's not creative. Um, but shortly after I had my first child, who's almost 4.5, he won't let me forget the half. I had an aha moment. I was nursing him, and my husband, again, was trying to get me into insurance. And he said, I just want to show you this commercial for life insurance. And it was actually on YouTube. And he showed me this commercial. And I had always had this idea that life insurance was gimmicky. It was kind of had that yucky feeling of a salesperson really trying to get you to commit to something and scare you into it with fear of death.
Right.
And that's really what turned me off of it. So he shows me this commercial, and the product for this, the carrier for this specific product was advertising that we want to reward you for living a great life. We want to give you credit for traveling and credit for going to the doctor and eating good food. And I had this little baby, nursing in my arms, and I had those fresh new mommy hormones going, and this commercial just, it literally was my aha moment.
Did you
And
start bawling?
I'm crying and I'm like, not only where do I sign to get this insurance for myself, but how can I tell every parent about this? Because I think everybody says that when you have a child, you experience this love that you never knew you were going to have
Right.
until you experience it, right?
Yeah.
And it's truer words have never been spoken. This rush of love and protection come in, and you're like, how can I protect this person with every fiber of my being? And I'll tell you
Right.
what, there's only so much that we can do, right? We can love them hard, and we can talk to all the teachers in the world, and we can, fight bullies and what have you, and do all of the things. But there's really only so much we can do to protect them from the outside. And life insurance is one extra step that we can take to protect them, because we want to be there until the day that they die. But
Right.
that's probably not going to happen. They're
Right.
probably, hopefully, going to far outlive us. So what life insurance can do is protect their financial stability, protect their security, protect their future. God forbid something's going to happen to
Yeah, it's true. People don't want to think about what happens if they die, but life insurance really is for the living. It's not for the person who died.
you. Yes,
Um,
perfect.
so so I know that people tend to think a couple things about life insurance. Like, is it hard to get? What does the process look like? If I wanted to get a policy with you, would I just call you up and be like, "Hey, Emily, I need life insurance," and like we're done? Or is it
You
like
know,
getting a mortgage, where it's like 18,000 steps and it's always changing? Like, what does that look like?
right. So it's not as quick as a car insurance policy. I'm on the lot, I'm about to drive off, get me my insurance. And
Okay.
it's certainly not 18,000 steps like buying a home, right?
Okay.
Life insurance, like everybody always becomes an example. But I have a beloved client who called me, and he was like, my wife she's about to go into labor. We're going to have this baby on Sunday, and I need life insurance. And I said, buddy, it's not that quick. Now, fortunately, we've got some advancements in the industry that we can do quick underwriting. We can actually get policies in place in about 48 hours these days, which is great. So we've come a long way in
Okay.
4 years. But traditionally, there's about 10 steps to getting life insurance. I know that sounds like a lot. It can be
Okay.
really daunting. But I take a lot of pride as the agent in handling most of those steps on my own. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to have an introductory conversation, really to find out what your goals and your wants are in regards to. Maybe we'll touch on budget a little bit, and then I'm going to get a really good snapshot of what your health is. Because if you don't know,
Okay.
life insurance is priced off of two things, right? The price is based off of two things: your overall health and your age. So
Right.
while any agent in the world can quote you whatever the heck they want that sounds pretty to get you in, it's not up to any agent, anybody. It's up to the underwriter who determines that price.
Okay.
So in the spirit of transparency, I really like to get an idea myself. I do what's called field underwriting. I give you the most accurate estimate that I can as to what I believe your health is and how the underwriter is going to rate you. And then I give you a quote. You decide on a product. Then we start the underwriting. We do an
Okay.
application together. You're going to do a phone interview with the carrier. In most cases, you'll do a medical exam. Unless you're the pillar of health, you may be able to bypass this. Some of my most recent clients have experienced this and are raving fans. It's great. And
Okay.
then, long and short, cutting this conversation in half, the underwriter comes back with an offer. And I make the offer to you. You either accept it, we tweak it a little bit, and either way, you get insured. And
Okay.
so that's really what it looks like.
So can we go back real quick to that health,
Sure.
that the health piece? There's an examination or something, right? Like, don't they have to
Yeah.
actually? So what does that entail?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So a lot of people get nervous about this part. Do I have to pay for it? What exactly are they doing? I don't have time for this crap, blah, 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 right?
Right.
So number one, you do not pay. The life insurance company pays for this themselves.
Okay.
They come to wherever's the most convenient for you. So like for you, Dr. Andrea, your office may be the most convenient place for them to do this. You work, you're on your own. You've got the facility to do it. Most people do it at their home. I've even had a few guys have it at the gym. People just love the gym. I mean, it really is where it's most convenient for you.
Okay.
And then the life insurance, it's a third party to the life insurance. It's usually a nurse or a phlebotomist, and they'll come in and they take four main measurements. Okay, they get to measure your height, your weight, they do a blood draw, and they do a urine analysis. It's
Okay.
quick. It takes about 20 minutes. It gives them enough information to get a snapshot of your health.
Okay, good. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then what are some of the most common misconceptions that people have about life insurance?
Well, I think that, unfortunately, I think this industry is full of, I hate to say this, but, there's an older generation that has put the fear of death into people's eyes into their minds rather. And so they really upsell this product. It does not have to be expensive. Trust me, it can be if you want it to
Okay.
be, but it doesn't have to be. So
Right.
I think the common misconception, most common, is that it's way too expensive. I can't afford it. Another one is that I'm unhealthy. I'm too unhealthy for it. I have diabetes. I'm obese. I smoke pot, blah, blah, blah. I can't get life
Hmm.
insurance. False, 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 and false. I often tell people, and I don't mean to sound snarky, but don't do my job for me, right? Let me do
Right.
it. I
Right.
am the queen. I always tell my clients, tell me all your dark secrets, and you and I will figure out the best way to navigate those with the insurance company, right? Um, and so a lot of times people think that because they stopped smoking X number of years ago, or they're thinking of quitting this year, that they're just ineligible or the price is going to be through the roof. But oftentimes carriers have incentive programs. They're actually called smoking cessation programs, where if you quit in the next X number of months, we're going to give you this reduced coverage just as
Oh,
an
interesting.
incentive to get you there. Yeah.
Okay, so
I,
I'm actually dying to know
yeah.
who is the hardest person you've insured? What did they have wrong with them?
Oh God.
Obviously, without giving up any names.
Yeah, of course. No, it's all confidential. Man, I've had some tough cases. Generally the toughest. I don't have any one because I've had some very challenging cases. I really am like
Okay.
the tough cases find me, and my underwriters say to me like, where do you find these people? But I think the biggest issue comes when
Right.
people are not forthright with me. If you're hiding any information from me,
Right.
we cannot be accurate, and then it starts a wild
Right.
goose chase. So that's the toughest. I've had people who've been on a series of medications. Whether it's painkillers or it's like antidepressants. It's like a combination of drugs that people are on
Right.
that they neglect to tell me about, and that's
And
where
then they
we
show up with
run
the
in.
blood test, right?
And then they show up in the blood test or they show up on the prescription report. And that's when we run into problems. So the best advice I can give is just like give it all to me,
Right.
even if you think it's too much. And then I will figure out the best way to give that information to the life insurance company and in your favor, right? The goal here
Yeah.
is number one, get you insured with a benefit for those who are left. A cash benefit, tax-free cash benefit, and then also to save you as much money as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Cool. Now,
yeah.
do you work only in California or can you help people outside of California?
That's a really good question. Thanks for asking. So,
You're welcome.
I am actually licensed in 5 states. I am
Okay.
currently licensed in California, Washington, Iowa, Georgia, and Arizona.
Okay.
And the long answer, I guess, to that is if you are in a different state that I didn't mention outside of New York, because that's just too big of a challenge, I'm not interested in taking on, I will get licensed. I love to expand my territory, and if I have a reason to get a license in another state, I will. So don't
Got it.
hesitate.
Got it. That must be
Yeah.
not quite as difficult as a chiropractic license because I can't even imagine trying to get a chiropractic license in other states. It'd be so
Yeah,
much work.
no, it's mostly just paying a fee and swearing that I'm honest and
Right.
felonies.
That's good. Hey, what's your website for people?
My website is livingwithm.com.
Okay.
So it looks like living with them, but it's with them.
Yeah, I see it. I just put it up on the screen. Okay, good. And then do you have just a couple more questions and we'll wrap it up. Do you have a
Sure.
story that shows why life insurance is so important to have?
Yes, I fortunately, in my 4 years, I have not personally had to deliver a life insurance check, but I do want to
That's
share this
great.
story that a business colleague of mine has shared when introducing me to the room. And I think it's just a really great story that really encompasses the reason behind life insurance. So, this gentleman and his business partner, best friends for decades and decades, grew up riding bikes in the street together. And his business partner's mother was very, very ill. And, this colleague of mine, he went to go check on her during his lunch. And when he came to the house, she had the flu, and unfortunately she had passed away in her sleep. And it's sad, but she was in her late 80s. She'd lived a really beautiful life, and so he had to call his friend up and say, I have really bad news. Mom passed away. Well, when they met up together, they found her wallet in her purse. And inside of her wallet, she had three little teeny, like business cards.
Right.
And one had the number to her estate attorney, one had the number to her life insurance agent, and one had
Mm.
all, everything that goes to everybody. Um, you know, who to contact. And so during this time, they had to start calling all these people and getting affairs in order, how she wants to be buried and what have you. And the light and everything was just in a pretty little package. She was one of these people who had all of the loose ends tied up. And at the end of the day, the life insurance agent was the hero, the unsung hero, because they delivered a check, a tax-free cash benefit that enabled them to bury her body, have a little inheritance. That was the only person in the picture that wasn't asking for money, but actually handing money out.
Oh, that's amazing. It's unusual too, I think, for people who are in their 80s to have life insurance. So what an amazing gift that she gave them.
Yeah, it was a whole life policy. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, I know my mom doesn't have life insurance. She's going to be 76 this year. So, well, very, very cool. Do you have any kind of an offer or anything you want to give people? Anything like that?
Unfortunately, the prices are set and they're not up to me to change. I
Yeah,
suppose
understood.
my offer is now, and for anybody who ever hears this, is just that when you work with me, I think you get a level of service. I'm very proud of the service that I provide. I treat everybody like they are my one and only client. And if you've got a challenge, a health impairment, again, don't do the work for me. I love to dive in and expand my knowledge. And if I can get you insured, trust me, if I can get some of these other people insured, I know I can get you insured. So thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Well, thank you for spending the time with me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And what I will do is on my end, once we're done being live, I'll get everything like uploaded to YouTube and I'll give you the link and then you can use it for other stuff. But
Perfect.
if you guys have any questions about life insurance, I do encourage you to give Emily a call. Her website is www.livingwithmem.com. And I really trust her, which is why I brought her on as a resource for you. I hope you've learned something important and what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, I hope you've learned something new.
Valuable.
Exactly, valuable. And Emily, thank you so much for your time. And
Thank you,
I
doctor.
guess I'll actually see you in a little bit at a meeting that we both go to.
Yes.
But to the rest of Facebook, have an amazing day and talk to you soon.
Goodbye. Thank
Bye.
you.
You're
Bye.
welcome.